Are you ready? Stand by.
Hey everybody, Ben DeHaemers, Steel Target Paint Team. I want to talk about my weekend a little bit. I got the opportunity to shoot some matches that I don't normally get to shoot. Most of the time I'm shooting Steel Challenge, and I'll put some USPSA in there as well, both of which I like very much. But one of the real fun games out there is Rimfire Challenge. Now, the state of Missouri had their championship on Saturday, and me and a friend of mine, Dennis, went out there and shot that match. That match is run by Troy Miller and his crew out there. And the first thing I'll say about them is there's so much thought that goes into their match. His people are knowledgeable, and they're there to have a good time, and they make sure that everybody else is going to have a good time too. They're not you know, the gotcha type or the type that are there to give you a hard time. They're very supportive. They love what they do down there. They really do. So they have a monthly match that goes on down there. It's about 2 hours away from me, so it's not quite something that I can make every month, but I definitely go down for the state match. I went down last year, had a blast, met Troy, met his people, and I was invited to come back this year, and I jumped at the opportunity. As a matter of fact, that is where Project Mark IV came from, was for that match specifically. I don't normally shoot a whole lot of pistol. We're going to talk about that a little bit. So if you don't know what Rimfire Challenge is similar to Steel Challenge in scoring. When it comes to, you're going to shoot some steel plates, you're going to do 5 runs, and your slowest one will be thrown out. So for any particular stage, you're going to have the 4 best scores out of 5. So what a lot of them do is they'll have 3 pistol stages and 3 rifle stages. So Rimfire Challenge is made up of both disciplines, which means you have to be very balanced in both pistol and rifle. I shoot far more rifle than I do pistol. I shot Rimfire pistol long enough to make Grandmaster about a year ago, and haven't shot it since, to be honest. Rifle's just my thing. So when I went down there, I built that pistol to go down there and shoot that match, and it was well worth it. I did not shoot the pistol as successfully as what I would have liked to. I had very little time with it to start out with, but again, I'm just not that much of a pistol shooter. But I tell you what, that added an aspect for me that I had a completely different goal when I went down for that match. I had the goal of just simply have fun, go down and meet everybody, you know, see everybody again. They came up for my last year's Steel Challenge match, but I haven't seen them since. So I got to see a lot of people that I haven't seen, and there are some very good people, and there's some very good competitors that come down to that area. The Stripling shooting team was in full force. I've got some pictures of them on my profile, and let me tell you quickly about them. That Stripling team is made up of very great people. You have a full range of shooters, but every single one of them, from the youngest to the oldest adult, they're just great people to be around. You can walk up to them, talk to them. I know several of them now. They're really great people to be around. And Billy Stripling, of course, is one of the best people in this sport. So overall, that was my goal, was to go down and see these people that I haven't seen a whole lot of, and shoot a different game with a different aspect. I went down to have fun, and you know what? I had an absolute blast. As I said, I didn't shoot the pistol as well as I'd like to. The rifle was quite successful, but I still learned some things about the rifle. I learned a lot this weekend. I even took first on one of the really fast stage that was down there. I took first with the rifle as far as like an overall score. You know, I shot it faster than anybody else did with any other gun with my Rimfire rifle. I just wish I could have put in the same type of scores with my pistol. But you know what? I'm interested in the pistol again. It's a challenge, and we're going to get going on that again. So I shot both days Rimfire Challenge. The Missouri State was Saturday, and then today Gabriel Sanchez, who was my mentor into getting into running Steel Challenge. He was the match director when I came on as the assistant match director, and we've had great ones even before him. But he put on this Rimfire Challenge today, and he also coaches and runs the Scholastic team with all the kids that shoot, who many of which did very well at nationals this year. So he put this on, and I got to tell you, you know, it didn't have the same turnout that some of the other matches do, but I think it's because a lot of people don't know a lot about Rimfire Challenge yet, or you know, had planned to do something else this weekend. But the people that were there were all quality. We had some very strong competitors. Jenna Larson, who I hope to get on here as soon as possible, maybe tomorrow. She swept the Missouri state, other than Troy Miller himself, the match director, took first. He's a very solid shooter. And I got to shoot with Jenna again. And then we had some other very, very strong competitors down there. And then a lot of the Scholastic kids shot as well. So it was just a very fun match. So again, I went into that one thinking, hey, you know, I haven't seen Gabriel in a while. I'm going to go meet up with him and we'll talk and have a great time. And I did. So the scoring is similar, but everything else is different, and different in very good ways. So the first thing is, with pistol, there's rules where you can shoot from as far back as a particular yardage. I believe it's 25 yards, and they can have targets as small as 7 inches. So with your rifle, they can go back further. I believe it's 45 yards. And again, maintain the smallest target can be as small as 7 inches. So Rimfire, rather than Steel Challenge having the 8 standardized stages, Rimfire is whoever decides the stages just puts up whatever they think, you know, would be fun to shoot. So it has a little bit of the element of USPSA, where you're coming up to a stage that you've never seen before, and you need to look at that stage and figure it out. And figure out what order you're going to shoot it in, or how you're going to approach it. You know, is it a fast stage? Is it a technical stage? That part's really fun. It's a lot of fun. It's what I enjoy the most about USPSA, is breaking down how to shoot a stage. So when you get into these Rimfire Challenge matches, you also have to gauge your skill level. And what you think you can do for the first time reliably. You might be able to look at a stage, you know, similar to what I did down in the Missouri state, and it was a learning experience because it didn't work out the way that I wanted it to, where I looked at a stage and I said, you know what, the fastest way to shoot this is a particular way, and that's the way that I tried to shoot it. However, I've never shot that stage before. And though that might have been the fastest way to shoot it, it wasn't the way that I could shoot it for the first time ever 5 times in a row. So what I learned was I needed to look at things from a point of view in Rimfire Challenge, and even USPSA from that matter, where you need to approach it from, what's my skill level? Okay, what's the fastest way to do it? And can I do that 5 times in a row? So that was a very good moment for me. I've shot very little Rimfire Challenge in the past. Like I said, I've shot the one last year, and we had a couple up here at Mill Creek. But this was pretty new territory for me. And then mixing the pistol with the rifle is a great balancer. You know, there's, especially the younger, the junior shooters down there, I mean, they're just smoking it with both the pistol and the rifle. It was extremely impressive to see. I wanted to take more videos, but again, they're younger people, and a lot of the parents don't like, you know, having their videos posted everywhere. So, you know, I took a whole lot of pictures, but man, it was just impressive. You got to get out to one of these matches, and some of these kids you'll see in Steel Challenge as well. So I had a very good time. Today, I learned even more, and I'm going to get into a complete review of my Athlon optic in a second video that I'm going to do right after this one, where it really shined today. One of the things I learned, and I am going to change, is typically in Steel Challenge, I have been running At one point in time, I was running some of the largest dots that I could possibly get. So this is my bread and butter team right here, my PCC and my Rimfire rifle. So on the Rimfire rifle, I'm running the Seymour, as many do. And I believe that the dot that is in this one is at least a 10. It may very well be a 12. I'm leaning towards it's a 12. So it's a large dot, and that's helpful in Steel Challenge when you're transitioning very quickly. However, even some of the ways that I've relearned how to transition have changed that to where a lot of people are going back to a 6 MOA dot. So a lot of the top shooters, two to name right off the bat, Steve Foster and Chris Barrett, both have gone to Vortex razors on the top of their guns. And they're going to a 6 MOA dot, which when I'm seeing that, obviously they're above me anyways. So I'm not condemning it, but I'm looking at it and I'm wondering, gee guys, you're shooting a smaller window, you're shooting a smaller dot. I'm not sure what the trick is there. And there really isn't a trick. It's just a matter of what you train with. So this one really shined today because this has the 3 MOA dot in it, which we're talking about with Athlon, and I'll go into that more in the other video. But the 3 MOA really shined today because it's bright enough to be seen. So Gabriel made some magnificent stages today, one of which was a very technical type stage, and it had many very small targets where you're hoping to shoot it under about a 4 second or about a 3.5 second time. 3.5 would be very good for the type of stage it was. I believe it was a total of it was either 6 or 7 plates, all of which were very small except for the very first one. But it was a blast. I mean, I came up and I shot it with my Rimfire rifle and my pistol, which does have a 12 MOA dot in it for the pistol, and I struggled because those those plates were smaller, and I've got such a large dot. But then when I shot this one, and it was a Rimfire challenge, so I should point out that one of the things Gabriel does, he allows people to come in and shoot other types of platforms. PCC is one of them. He likes to allow people to shoot a centerfire division. So if you want to shoot a centerfire pistol and a centerfire rifle, you can do that, along with the traditional Rimfire challenge, Rimfire pistol and Rimfire rifle. Or he even allowed, for a lot of people that only have one particular gun, whether it be a PCC or whatever it was, you could shoot what was called a Wildcat division. And I chose to do that because, again, Athlon and I are talking, and I put this dot on here, and I wanted to try it out. It really shined today. I was very, very happy today shooting the PCC. I was happy all day. Rimfire Challenge was a very good change in pace. A whole lot of fun. The people are amazing, just like Steel Challenge. Everybody's nice, everybody's humble, everybody's looking to get along, and everybody's looking to go fast, or if it's a technical stage, don't miss, so if you get the opportunity to shoot some of those Rimfire Challenge matches, absolutely go out and do it. I told Gabriel at the end of today, I said, we have to do this more often, and he feels the same way, so we got to find a slot for that to get in at Mill Creek. I learned a lot. I learned a whole lot. As a matter of fact, I've learned so much over the last 2 days shooting Rimfire that my platforms are going to start to change a little bit. The Rimfire pistol, as some of you have seen, the Mark IV project. This is going to change. Again, I am a traditional Seymour dot shooter, and we're going to try a different path. Okay, the Athlon has opened up my eyes to some different things, and I'm going to move into changing those platforms with what I learned this weekend. Great weekend. I thank everybody that was involved, all the sponsors that were involved with the Missouri State match. I won't be able to name them all off the top of my head. I know that Steel Target Paint was involved. I saw some of their certificates on the prize table. I saw a whole lot of Tandem Cross. Tandem Cross came out in spades. They did great for the match. There were some Volquarts and things there. Obviously, Billy Strickland sent some things down. Alchin had some things on the table. There were just a lot of things. A lot of sponsors really came through for them to make such a great match in the middle of what most people would consider a flyover state, Missouri. Great people, great time, great weekend. I did take first overall with this. Again, I felt very strong with this gun in Rimfire Challenge as a Wildcat division. With a particular dot setup that I was running. The smaller dot in the Rimfire Challenge really is the way to go. And I knew that. I just didn't want to change over my equipment. But I think now what's going to happen is I am going to change over my equipment, and it's going to maintain that way for Steel Challenge as well. So I'm hoping that'll move on to a next level. If you guys have any questions about Rimfire Challenge, obviously, hit me up. Troy Miller is amazing. One of the best match directors that I've met. As a matter of fact, when I went down last year, I've said this online and I told him in person. The match last year was when I was looking into getting into the assistant position for Steel Challenge, and now I've taken over the match director position from Gabriel now that he's doing other things. And the way that his match ran was the way that I want a match to run. And that is what I model our approach, our environment, and the way that we want a match to run efficiently and keep everybody happy. So if you have any questions, reach out to him, reach out to me. I can point you in the right direction. So next up will be a review on this particular optic. Thank you, everybody.